Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Network Optix webinar. My name's Stuart. I'm the Managing Director of ISCS. ISCS is an Australian security and CCTV and access control distributor. We were founded back in 1997, initially focusing on distributing HID card readers and credentials to the Australian market. Just hold on that slide there for a minute, Matt. We soon grew the business to include enterprise level access control and software and hardware to complement the card readers and credentials we were already selling in the marketplace. In the early years, we quickly expanded, growing into branches in Brisbane, Melbourne, and Adelaide to complement our founding branch in Sydney. Fast forward to today, we offer industry-leading and trusted brands, and those include NX Witness by Network Optix. This is what you're going to see today. Dragonfruit AI, which is a product that you're also seeing today that plays nicely with Network Optix. We also distribute Vivotech CCTV, HID Global, DSX Access, Credo ID, Enterprise Access Control, the Vanderbilt suite of security and access control products. That's just to name a few of our trusted brands. And at ISCS, we really pride ourselves on offering first-class products and first-class customer support and service. So I trust you all enjoy the little journey we're about to take you on to learn a little more about NX Witness, VMS, and Dragonfruit AI, how they play together. At the conclusion of the webinar, should anyone have any product inquiries or you'd like a more in-depth demonstration and pricing, just please reach out to me or any of our ISCS staff, but I'm more than happy to take a call or an email. Thank you for your time, and please enjoy your webinar. We've got a small video on the next slide that we'll just roll now to let you know a little bit more about ISCS.
We know the importance of quality built products need the most. That's why our industry-leading security technology is the best fit for your business. Taking a comprehensive approach to your security, our trusted team and network of distribution centers. Credential program. Our unique product solutions are design you or upgrade existing security systems, providing you and your staff with support, training, and service. As the trusted provider.
It's having a bit of audio.
Yeah, it looks like the COVID bug got into our audio there a little bit, but yeah, effectively that gives you a little bit of a info about the products and the company. You might just mute that if you can, Matt. Perhaps.
No worries. I can make you presenter on this one as well, Stuart, so maybe you can control the now, if that's okay.
Yeah, no worries. That'd be good.
Can't do that. All good. I'll just do it myself.
And just click through to the next slide, please, Matt.
Yeah, just wait for it to finish.
And click again. So that's just a couple of our brands. Some of these brands everyone's familiar with. Click through again, Matt. Of course, HID, that's the product that we really founded the business on, and we're very well known for the HID credential reader product, and of course our printers. Click again. We also have our ID supplies business, so that's a complementary business. Anything to do with identity products photo ID printers, lanyards, accessories. That's based in Sydney as well, so please reach out if you have any ID suppliers requirements. Click again. And click again. And of course, Dragonfruit AI is what we're here to talk about. And I'll let the experts talk to you about Dragonfruit AI. Click through, Matt. And click again. Okay, and as mentioned, we're in Sydney, West Sydney, Brisbane, Melbourne, and Adelaide. Well, thanks, guys. I'll hand you over to the experts now, and please enjoy the webinar.
You've got control of the keyboard and mouse, Padma.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. Do I need to present? Or can you click through? Matt?
You should be able to click through.
I'm not.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks everyone for attending today. So my name is Padma Duvori. I'm one of the co-founders and the VP of Business at Dragonfruit AI, and we are here to talk about a cost-effective and scalable video analytics platform that we offer. And next slide. So just some information about us. So we are a US-based Silicon Valley startup. It's actually the third company for our CEO, who's a serial entrepreneur. It's the first one he sold to Yahoo, the second one to NerdWallet, and this is his third time around. The other co-founder and I and him we've all worked together for a very, very long time. And we all come from the IT side of the house. So a very seasoned team of video, AI, and cloud experts who've been doing this for years and really bringing that sensibility and that kind of discipline to the physical security arena. And we have some award-winning products already where we were showcased at SIA, so ISC West last year, and then OSPA for new security product that we won as well. So getting a lot of good feedback in terms of our products. So next slide. So what is our product offering? So we are an enterprise video AI platform. So three main areas of AI analytics that we offer: investigations, occupancy, and monitoring. And really what sets us apart is our fast and easy deployment. So the key here is that we overlay on existing infrastructure. So there's no new expensive hardware to buy. And then also that we integrate into existing VMSs, such as an Witness, as well as OnVIF if needed. And for people who have loose media, at the same time, be able to ingest that as well. So ingestion points into our analytics, and then basically providing a consumption-based model for analytics. So one of the issues we found from previous companies and kind of the existing model is that you have to buy, this huge hardware. In the US, it can end up being like $30,000 US, a huge licensing for many years of pretty much maxing out how much you're going to use. Are you really going to use it all, or are you going to get to it? Don't know, but you have to buy it all up front. And it really ends up being a very big investment. And what we were trying to do is say, start small and grow with your business. If there's only a piece of this you need, so if you only need investigations, then only buy that and then grow as you need. And the key there is that we have a cloud-based offering and a hybrid offering, and that's what gives us the flexibility that others don't have. And that flexibility, that platform approach, also allows us to offer bespoke modules and apps. So essentially what we call the last mile solution for solving extremely unique challenges. So AI has been around for a while, and it's not really true AI. A lot of times it's been image processing, so ours is true AI with object detection. But what we're finding is that even that needs to be put together. So as an example, there's a lot of different pieces and parts that people can do, in terms of features. Oh, detect a vehicle, detect a person, maybe count somebody, but that may not exactly fit a customer's use case. And that's where we offer bespoke solutions. And I actually liken this to a suit. So you could buy a suit off the rack and wear it, and it is a suit, but until you really tailor it, it really isn't doing what you want it to do. And so that's what you can do with our platform, is to take these modules and be able to tailor them for you specifically. And as an example there, so we are working with a large amusement park vendor here in the US. And one of the things they wanted to do was count ride wait times. And they tried to do it with sensors. It was too expensive. It actually didn't work. They tried doing it with just a camera analytics, which didn't work at all. But what we're doing is taking the actual camera video and then using AI as well as some algorithms to give them the ride wait times. So it's a combination of people counting, of dwell times, of lingering, putting all that together into a specific application for them that actually truly met their need. So this is one of the areas I'll talk a little bit about more, but it's actually, we're seeing a bigger explosion in this because it actually fits what it is you're trying to do. Okay, next slide. So we have a number of customer-focused solutions. So to start with, and this is a building slide, so is our platform. So we started out with cloud storage and built our own AI ML models on that, have a capability for bandwidth management, which was another issue that we saw that a lot of people were facing. And we solved that with Split AI, which I'll talk about later. And then obviously our VMS plugins so that we can actually ingest data. And on top of that, if you go to the next build, is our modules. So these are essentially kind of the main AI features. So searching and LPR and doing heat maps and counting, all of those put together. And then the last piece here is our solution suites. So what we found were that people were buying these modules kind of in the same groupings over and over. So we thought we would make it easier and much more straightforward by offering these in solution suites. And so my next couple of slides, I'll go into details of what we mean by digital investigations and then the others. So Digital Investigation Suite is essentially an end-to-end solution for expediting forensic video investigations. So we've basically deployed this in police departments here in the US, and they've come back to us and said, it actually helps them speed up their investigations by 10x. We can source video from VMSs, from cameras, from loose media. They sometimes have DVDs, thumb drives, etc. Being able to put all that together and manage that evidence and do the reporting and actually doing the secure sharing of those reports and that evidence with stakeholders. So this is a couple of videos we have here. So one is what we call video summaries, which is essentially taking hours of video footage and being able to squeeze that down into minutes to be able to do the review much faster. And then a timeline view, which I can show later as well, which is being able to take a number of different camera views and put them together so you get a much more holistic picture of what was actually happening at that incident and allowing you to be able to solve that case much faster. And again, one of the testaments here is one of the police departments in Oklahoma that was using this. They were going to do a 4-week POC with us, and 2 weeks in, they actually said, I don't know if we can do this because we have all these cases we have to solve now. And what happened was we said, why don't you use our tool to solve it? And they did. And in fact, they were able to solve 2 cases in that time. So one was a multi-state robbery, and another was an attempted kidnapping. And again, they said they were able to do that so quickly because rather than having to manually look at all this video, they can actually use the AI assist to help find what they're looking for much faster. Okay, next. So the next is our occupancy management suite. And this is, if you think of the digital investigations as kind of your traditional using cameras and such for security purposes, OMS is really more about business intelligence, and we're finding a lot of people, especially retailers, using this for marketing. So it's an AI-powered spatial analytics solution that gives you the BI about what's actually happening in your physical environment. So you can look at things like occupancy rates, dwell times, queue lengths, wait times, etc. And as I'd mentioned before, you can look at these individually, or you can put them together in ways that make sense for your specific environment to see what's actually happening in your physical world. And all of this can be visualized with charts and heat maps and plots that we have, or you can get the raw data. In the case of this amusement park, they actually take the wait times and with the embed command actually export it out to their own mobile app that the ride users or the ride visitors can actually look at. So very easy to do, very flexible. And it gives you a unique view in that we actually have a map-based calibration capability, which most don't have. Most are taking camera views and doing counts based on cameras. But what we do is if you have an indoor location, we'll take a 2D map, show where the cameras are located in that map, and not just the cameras themselves, but the camera view, so that you can see, are there overlaps, are there gaps, and based on that, we can do our calculations. So for overlaps, we know that we're going to have to do automatic deduping so that you don't count people twice. And for any gaps, we can work with people to say either adjust your cameras, put a new camera in, or understand that could be some dead space there. So, so again, all of this is using existing cameras infrastructure, but being able to take that data and tailor it for a specific use case that you're going for. Next. So the last suite is our real-time alerting suite. And this is a centralized monitoring and alerting for your whole physical security infrastructure. So it works across all your cameras, all your VMSs, all your locations. You can do real-time alerts, and we actually even provide like 2-minute daily video summaries. So if you remember the summaries that we did before, taking long video and shortening that, you can actually get an alert. So every day you can get a 2-minute video summary on what's happened. And we're actually doing a POC with a telecom here in the US where their retail stores, they wanted to know what's happening in front of their safe. And so every day, we send them a 2-minute video of like, here's what's happened all day long, squished into 2 minutes of the activity that's taken place in front of your safe. And for any of those, you can actually alert on something that happened as well, or you can just understand what's been happening. So maybe it wasn't as bad as an incident per se, but it is something where you might want to understand a little bit more of like, here's what takes place in that area, which maybe you didn't know about because you never looked at. So that's the video summaries piece. We also do, still working on that slide. We also do camera health monitoring. So that's kind of what's shown at the bottom here is since we get our video directly from the VMS, we're actually getting the actual video feed itself from the camera. So what you can see here is basically we can take a snapshot at any prescribed length of time. It could be 1 frame a minute, 1 frame an hour. Take a baseline frame and compare it against what you're seeing at different times. And this actually is meant to kind of imitate a test that we did with a warehouse vendor where we were showing the camera health capabilities with a camera that was in their warehouse. And literally during the night, while we were videotaping this, a spider came in front of the lens and built a web right in front of it, covering it all up. Now, if you were looking at monitoring this via SNMP traps or other kind of base level capabilities, you might say, well, the camera's still up, there's no problem. But because we're actually monitoring it based on the video itself, we were able to say, well, this is not going to work. Something's obstructing this. We actually need to go take a look at it. And so it's kind of if you think of like an OSI stack, it's a higher level view of what's actually happening and the application view of what's happening at the cameras. And then the last piece is extremely cost-effective cloud storage. So if you are doing secondary backups, if you're doing compliance, need to store terabytes of data for compliance reasons, it's a very effective way to actually store all that data in the cloud versus having to have a NAS or any other kind of on-prem storage that you have to manage. So all that comes under real-time alerting. And I think one of the last pieces here is that anything that you can search on, you can alert on. So, so again, if you're searching on occupancy, like how many people are in a space in a certain time, you can alert on that. If you're searching from an investigation perspective of who's wearing a red shirt, or what color car came by at a certain time, you can alert on that. And there's a lot of adjustments you can make in terms of the frequency of alerts, the times of alerts, etc. And I can show that in the demo. Next. And then again, the last piece was the advanced AI module. So if you think of this, it's basically an AI model that is taken, and either it's one that we've developed or one of the ones that gets published. Plus, if you add to that and then kind of go to the next build, training. So a model plus training is what's actually needed to get what we call an advanced AI module. So if you can go to the next one. And so this is where you get the bespoke modules and advanced modules. So again, either an AI model that's already been published that either we need to modify or we can take straight and then add training to it so that we can actually then have it work in a specific environment. And next build of this. So some of the advanced AI modules that we have today are things like violence detection, slip and fall detection, liquid spill detection, safety equipment, LPR. So all of these are ones where we've already created the model for it. We've done some training based on our own training sets and based on our own environments. But these can be fairly quickly deployed into customer environments just based on having to do training. And the reason for that, so for example, we've seen a lot of interest in liquid spill detection and slip and fall detection. And again, the model, it's a pretty sophisticated model to start with. But on top of that, we also show that it really depends on the lighting conditions, the camera angle, glare, and focus. So there is a number of other kind of factors that go into that, which is different from deploying just kind of a search module, for example. So these are advanced because they do require some training based on your specific location details. But again, the model is already there. We've already trained it to our own arena. So using it for another customer site, the delta in terms of getting that up and running is pretty fast. And then one more slide. I'm not sure if I have the images on this or not. Yeah, so this is just like a quick animated GIF about what it would be. So on the left-hand side, kind of we show a spill that's detected. So we actually went to a hardware store and asked them if we could do a spill. And so we can show that as soon as the spill happens, that we are able to detect it. And then the right-hand side show that when the spill does get cleaned up, it also shows that that spill is gone. So we can do this for colored liquids as well as clear liquids. And next slide. Okay, so before I talk about our how we work with Network Optix, I just want to see if there's any questions or anything, and just take a minute to break here.
You can type any questions you have into your thing there. You can send them to us and we'll answer any questions that you have as well. There's also a chat if you guys want to send any questions through there. But so far, everyone's pretty good.
Okay. Okay, so let's just actually, this is kind of, okay, so we have, this is kind of at our two-tiered architecture model. So We have a Dragonfruit client, which is, you think of it almost as an applet that is installed on premise on your existing hardware. And its goal is video ingestion, bandwidth management, and it actually can do some AI, ML analytics light. So we call those ones kind of the lighter weight ones, like the people counting, etc. So the client actually connects to Network Optix. So we have an integration with their SDK to be able to ingest video. So any kind of network groups or all the camera groups, that that whole hierarchical structure that you set up in your VMS, it actually gets replicated in Dragonfruit as well. So from the client, then we actually take that video and upload that to the cloud. And let's see if we could do the next build slide. So, okay, so goes up to the cloud, and this is where the heavier weight analytics is done. So like the video summaries, some of the timelines, etc. And we optimize the workflow here as well. So we have kind of what we call, cloud's infinite scalability, if you will, right? So we're able to spin up and spin down nodes as needed. So it gives you the flexibility to be able to just request analytics to be done and then not have to worry about the resources behind it. And then the next build. And then all of this is accessed through a browser. So secure, scalable, compliant, be able to get and see what's happening with your video, being able to do the analytics, see the analytics from wherever you are. And then the last piece, the last part of the build here is our Split AI. So this is one of our patent pending technologies, and this really was meant to address the bandwidth issue. And so you think of this essentially as our larger AI inference engine being running in the cloud, but kind of a small version of that being run on the client so that it can manage the bandwidth and then the type of video that goes up to the cloud. So the next slide actually talks a little bit more about Split AI. So if you can think of kind of your standard scene, here's a parking lot with a lot of different types of objects, so clouds and cars and light poles and trees and roads, etc. If you can build on that. To the next slide build. Yeah. So here, what we can do with Split AI is the inference engine actually detects the objects that we're looking for. So in this case, we're only interested in the cars, so which is only about 16% of the scene. So it actually detects those objects and uploads those into the cloud, as you see here, and then you can run all the analytics that you want against that. So rather than having to detect the entire scene and upload it, we're really saving bandwidth by only uploading the pieces that you actually want to see, and then running the analytics in the cloud. So again, this is one of the ways that we address bandwidth. Another is with time shifting. So the client has the intelligence to be able to time shift. So one of our clients in the US has a number of different retail stores, and obviously during the day they want to use their bandwidth for point of sale operations, which makes sense. But they also do thousands of investigations a year. And so what we do for them is upload the video at night for the investigations that they need to do, so that by the time they come in the morning, their investigators have all the video that they need to do and work on it without having to take up a lot of bandwidth during the day. And then the other piece that the client can do is also actually reduce frame rates and make the video sizes smaller if need to. So we actually don't need a lot to do an analysis. So a lot of times you can downsample a pretty big video to about 416 by 416, and which would be enough for us to run AI analytics against it. So that's the good part, is that if needed for remote locations, etc., you can do that. So that's Split AI, and that is kind of Dragonfruit and working with Network Optix in general. So now I can walk through a quick demo of everything, but again, want to take this time to take a second and see if there are any questions or anything else I can help answer before we do that. Okay, so
There's no question. I've given you control over the mouse, so you should be able to.
okay, I think you, if you make me a presenter, then I can jump on to the window that I was going to show.
No worries. Bingo. Done.
Okay. Okay, so when you log in, this is our new UI that you would see. So again, this is accessible from anywhere where you can get to a web browser. You can actually manage your account and take a look at what's actually happening and do all the analytics. Let's see. It's kind of always a challenge when you have all these windows up trying to also show stuff. Okay, so we have a couple of different areas on here. So home, which shows, obviously the home page. We have the concept of locations. So again, a location is how we connect to a VMS and how we actually download the video from a VMS and able to use it. So in this case, what we can do is actually create a new location here. And once you create a new location, basically you get a choice of what VMS you want to connect to. And in this case, if we were going to connect to a network Optix VMS, the process is pretty straightforward. So the first thing you would do is download a client. So again, this is a small applet that you download and you install and basically have a connection code, which the connection code talks to its equivalent process in the server, do the handshake so that we know that it's secure and verified. Once that is done, then you would connect to a remote server. So in this case, it would be the NX Client VMS server. You can give it a name, the username and password that you would log into it at, the IP address. And once you log into the VMS server, then you would be able to actually select which camera sources you want to work with. And again, whatever the camera structure is on the VMS in terms of camera groups, those what is how it would show up here. And you can select and turn on and off which cameras you want to get data from. And basically that's it. So very easy to get up and running, very easy to get connected to the VMS and then start seeing video. So once you do that, you have basically, again, you can go home and you can see the number of different locations that you have and kind of the video that comes up. So you can pick a ability to actually scrub so that you can see what takes place when you upload that video. And typically from the VMS, we upload in like 10-minute chunks. So that, which is configurable, but just in general, what happens is that you get video from the NX Witness. It gets stored locally on the machine where the client is installed, just as a buffer. And once we get 10 minutes worth, then we then upload it to the cloud. So you can see these often in 10-minute chunks. And then once it's up here, you can do searches. So let me get this out of the way. So in this case, basically you can have all the files that you've uploaded, again, in 10-minute chunks and see what's happening in those, or you can see kind of the full archive of the video that you've uploaded. So that's locations. We also have a concept called views, which is basically creating your own video wall. And so if you had a number of different locations, you could say, I would like the front door view from one from this particular place versus this camera view for another place, and creating your own video wall and being able to create your own kind of virtual GSOC based on that. And then next one is investigation. So kind of this is the, if you will, kind of the workhorse of our applications. And so this is for doing, oh, this, sorry, this window is totally getting in my way. And I'm looking for one particular investigation here, which I don't see. So sorry, let me just reboot this because I did update this with a new investigation. There we go, traffic circle. So this is our traffic circle video again that we are uploading. And sorry, it's first one. So we can go into that. Actually, yeah, sorry. And then see, you know, let's look for vehicles. And in this case, there's a number of red vehicles. You can say all vehicles and see, get a quick search of, and thumbnails of like all the different vehicles that are available. And you know, if you say, well, that's a lot of them, so maybe actually what we want to do is do vehicles by color and do red vehicles. And instead, so I can narrow that down. And only search on red vehicles. So, you know, very quick way, again, and this is what the investigators were doing to be able to select what you are looking for, what your criteria is, and then in down here to be able to see like where does that particular vehicle actually show up in that raw video. So again, very easy to set up. You know, gives you information about the location, the kind of object type, the filter that you searched on, etc. And we have a number of different filters. So, you know, like people search, we have face mask detection capabilities, and we have these such that if you start out with just kind of the base analytics, you can request licenses very easily and upgrade very easily based on if you suddenly need to be able to search. In this case, I know we don't have a lot of people, but you know, we have the capability to do a face mask detection. You can request a license on that. Advanced vehicles, we actually have the ability to do license plate detection as well. You can activate licenses on that. Actions and behaviors. So again, dwell time, slip and fall detection, violent activity detection, all of these are, you can activate licenses. So dwell time, you can activate a license immediately. As mentioned, with slip and fall and violent, you can, but they also require more training to be able to more accurately actually show the capabilities. And then compliance as well, so spill detection, hard hat safety, all of these models are available. They just need to be activated and you can get them going. So that's kind of basic search capabilities and with investigations. And so one of these here too, let me see. So another piece we have is insights. And so insights is basically what I had called OMS, so Occupancy Management Suite. And this, you can have a couple of ways of looking at it. So, you know, in terms of like traffic, we can see the crossings you have, the ranges, time ranges for those. And this is basically how many crossings, meaning how many people have crossed a certain threshold, certain towers and areas. You can create regions, different search filters against it, searching on different days of the week and month. and different times, and the metrics of occupancy, visit durations, heat maps, crossings, net crossings. Custom basically means that you can take any of these and create, if you want a metric of like occupancy ×2, or let's call visit duration ×2, and that'll give us an idea of what's actually happening. Can create those, group all of these by different regions as well. Elevator test, so we can do kind of out of the box heat maps on these. So this is kind of our out of the box heat map, but we can provide the raw data against that, and actually we're open to different ways of plotting these as well. So haven't had a lot of requests on heat maps, but the basic one seems to work, but can also provide additional requests in terms of how you want it visualized. And then alerts are the ability to set up real-time alerts for, again, whatever it is that you're looking for. So a new rule, can name the rule, and you can trigger it based on like search criteria or building occupancy, kind of select what cameras you would like, and then how many, the counts of things, if it's greater or less than, which time of day you want, and then advanced options of what different priorities you have, how frequently do you want the alerts to come up, do you want to consider past data, and and how many seconds before that triggers again. So anything that you search on, you could set up an alert on very quickly and very easily. And then the last piece in terms of this is apps. So again, from an apps perspective, these are one of the apps that we built for one of our customers I'd mentioned. So this was a wait time app. So based on the ride that they have and based on the location and state, we've been able to determine wait times for them. And then again, this gets uploaded via an embed command into their own mobile app. Building occupancy as well. So, I showed the insights and showed some of the graphing, but as I mentioned, we can show this in different types of plots as well. So occupancy trends in terms of, which offices are open. So this one is data that we've done for a customer that's anonymized, but just, give you an idea of like what it looks like that we were able to do for them, is that this is what they wanted to do for occupancy, is what was open, kind of what have the lowest and highest occupancies, which cameras were active or inactive. Also being able to do trends on that, so different locations as people were coming back into work from COVID, being able to plot those trends and say which offices are open, how many people are going into all of those. We've set up alerts for them as well, so that if it's active, what kind of where the entrance is, who the owner is, and when you would want to alert on different aspects of what's happening, and then investigations as well, so that if they want to open up an investigation about if there's a missing laptop or any other things that are happening inside their offices, being able to actually put all of that into a single app for them. So rather than having it be kind of separated, consolidating that into a business view that is going to be useful for them. We also have an out-of-the-box integration with OpenPath. So for access control, so they have a cloud-based access control, and so we have some. I don't have an app in the access control myself, but essentially this is what it would look like, and you can configure it based on entry mappings, and then also through webhooks, considering it with them and authenticating into theirs. So anytime somebody has an acceptable alert or one that's not, we can provide an alert to show that. Couple more demos here. So we have a concept called timelines, which I'd mentioned before. So this is really taking video. So each one of these essentially is a different video. And as you see the timeline go through, you'll see additional videos get added to this. And it's always a little bit slow when I'm also presenting. But the idea here is that as the video views show up, you can see the store robbery happening in multiple views. And then as the cameras go away, the cameras drop off. So it gives you an idea, especially if you have multiple cameras and you don't have a multi-lensed camera, you can see what's actually happening at this location at different time frames. And you can slow that down, elongate that time frame, or you can really shorten it, just so you can see how quickly things go. But essentially, it's a tool to be able to speed up investigations. And also in apps, wanted to show a demo of a slip and fall. So one of the slip, trip, and fall, and we have this actually on YouTube, which I can share as well. So this is, again, how we've done liquid spills. So this is an Ace hardware store where we were showing somebody going in and basically spilling liquid. And here there's kind of 3 different lighting conditions. So if you can see the one at the foreground, that spill is actually growing and it's a little bit more opaque. But the one in the back has quite a bit of glare as well. So heavy reflection. And so the challenge here is for a camera to be able to detect all those. So here we've been able to detect it. So, and as the spill grows, we continue to detect that. And even the one in the back that has quite a bit of glare, we're able to see that the AI was able to detect that as well. And then going in, for occlusion. So, we have somebody walking through that and still being able to keep that detection going. And then here, as you continue to clean up, showing that the places where it still does detect, it keeps it there. And then once it's done, it goes. Now we can do the same for clear liquids, which ends up being a lot more of a challenging problem. So here we've done that where we put a hole in the bottle and we have clear liquid coming out, and kind of speeding that up now as far as detection goes. So actually put a hole and make the hole bigger, as we didn't think that you could see the liquid, but it does come out, and it is detected immediately. And again, as the spill continues to grow, the water is detected. And again, very hard to see even for the human eye here. So the light here, threshold can be configured as well. So he's actually cleaning the floor and making.
I can't see your video.
I'm sorry?
Can't see.
Are we done?
No, I can't see your screen.
Oh, did my
it's just gone white.
Yes, that's weird. Let me see.
I can see your web page with all the bits and pieces, but that window you're bringing up now is just white. There's nothing going on.
Yeah, I see that it's white too, and I don't know why it's white. Okay, there we go. We're back.
There we go. Yeah.
Were you able to see the spill detection demo?
No.
Were you guys able to see the spill detection demo or video?
We couldn't see it at all, Padma.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
You'll try again.
Yeah, sorry about that. Let's try again. Sorry, you should have stopped me.
Yep, now we can see it.
Okay, I'll just keep it small then. So again, maybe speed through this a bit. So this was, he's adding the liquid here. And again, the one in the back is has a lot more reflection and glare. And the one up front is more opaque, but it continues to grow. So here the idea is that the spill is growing, and you'll see it growing, and we'll see it being detected. And even the one in the back with a lot of glare, that we're still able to detect that as a spill. And then we'll have somebody walk through here to show that even with occlusions, so with obstructions, the AI still recognizes that. And here, as we clean it up, you'll see that there's parts of it that it still detects, but the part that finally that does get cleaned up, it does see that. And then next would be the clear liquid. So again, much harder to do and much more susceptible to lighting conditions. So leaking water on the floor, and this is a linoleum floor, so kind of hard to see, but we are able to detect that immediately. And we also detect as the water continues to grow as a spill. And again, the once we clean this up, we can set threshold levels so that in this case, we've set the threshold so that it's very minimal. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So that even while it's being pushed out, you can still detect that it's wet. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So we're kind of nearing the end of the session, and I'm losing my voice. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Sorry, we just had a question come through whether we can run your software on Linux or is it just Windows?
So the SDK for Network Optix, actually, we have it running on Windows, but we could port that to Linux if needed. So one of the things I did want to show too is this is one of our latest features as far as views goes, is the ability to take a view and move it around. So again, you can pick which camera location you want and put them all together into this GSOT type of view. You can also make them smaller and bigger and change locations. So really creating an actual GSOT that then you can look at just in a monitor itself. So so it really looks like the camera views that you want, at the angles that you want, at the sizes that you want.
You okay?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just suddenly lost my voice. I've been talking all day. It's already like 4 o'clock for us, so here in California. Any other questions? Okay, so one of the things here is that we have the analytics and kind of basic analytics available. So if you go to Dragonfruit, if I can type. So if you go to our website, we actually have the ability to download this software for free. So you can create an account, and you don't have to download anything. Actually, you create an account and sign up and are able to access kind of demo videos that we have. So you can try out the search functions, you can try out the learning, you can try out the occupancy management, etc. And if you are interested in seeing a deeper demo or doing a POC, definitely contact Stuart and his team to get that going. Stuart, anything else you wanted to add?
Thanks, Padma. I hope your voice gets a little bit better. Yeah, absolutely. If there's any opportunities for a proof of concept or demonstrations out there, please talk to us. We've actually got a couple of POCs already going around Australia, and we've had nothing but rave reviews so far. So hit us up. We're keen to show you more about Dragonfruit and of course NX Witness.
Yeah, and just kind of final words and segue to that is what really makes it is the advanced AI analytics, the flexibility of being able to deploy in different configurations, the start small and grow big, so only pay for what you use and use what you need, and the ability to actually leverage existing infrastructure. So, one of our bigger customers is actually a house of worship here in the US, very sophisticated IT team that was evaluating a number of different analytics. We were the 7th ones, the last ones that they evaluated, and they were looking at they actually had Genentech as their VMS, and they were looking at Kiwi, they're looking at Avigilon Analytics, and just wasn't doing it for them. It was too much hardware to start with, too expensive, too cumbersome. Again, we were the last ones introduced to them, and within 4 weeks, they decided that they were gonna go with us. So, they did a 3-location POC with us, and after that, now they deployed in 46 different locations. And this was last year during COVID, so none of this was on site. We're able to do all of this remotely, all of the management, all the deployments. So we are in 5 different countries, 4 different continents with them, more than 2,500 cameras connected, and are one of our biggest customers, one of our biggest proponents actually too, just because it's so easy to use, so cost effective. Again, starting with just what they needed, and now we continue to grow with them. So highly encourage you guys to try it out. Anybody who has an AI analytics need, very easy, as you saw, to connect to Network Optix, very robust, being able to ingest video from them. The 1 + 1, we say, is 3. So the 2 together really offer kind of a full suite of software solution for physical security, for both security as well as for business intelligence. So thanks again for joining us today.
Thanks, everyone. If you have any questions, feel free to send them through myself, or you can send them through to myself, and I'll send them through to ISCS, or just reach out to ISCS, whatever's best for you. Thanks, Padma. Thanks, Stuart. We'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.